probably the first of many videos that we make on this subject. I told you guys that I was going to make a Zac Robinson firing video, and I am here to deliver. Welcome in, Falcons fans, to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, still reeling after that embarrassing shutout loss to the Carolina Panthers on the road, 30-0. So I will start with the most obvious question here on the channel, something that I hope I can get as many as 200 comments down below to this question. Is it time to fire Zac Robinson? Yes or no? I think it is. And in today's episode, I'm going to break down why, from a statistical standpoint and from just a basic eye test standpoint, why Zac Robinson is not fit to be the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, because it has been awful. And this is why you subscribe. I'm going to give you honest Falcons breakdowns, whether it's the good like it was last weekend against the Minnesota Vikings, or if it's going to be awful like it was this week against the Carolina Panthers. If you want honest, free feedback around your dirty birds, hit that sub button right now. Let's just start with the most obvious. This is just a glimpse, a screenshot, a snippet, if you will, into what Zac Robinson's offense looks like so far in the NFL. Almost dead last in points per game, only in front of the Houston Texans, who are a dumpster fire offensively right now. Their offensive EPA is the fourth worst in the NFL. We'll talk about that here in a second. And their run block win rate, according to ESPN, is 24th in the NFL. And that's with the pistol offense, which is supposed to be a runner's best friend. So let's talk about EPA for a second. Expected points average. Expected points added. Expected points added is a helpful metric that measures the number of expected points or lost, so added or lost, on a specific play. Obviously, the positives mean that it's good. So they take into account everything such as formation. They take into account field position. They take into account the statistics that you've got throughout the game, and they measure it all into one basic number, and they kind of, give you an idea of how many expected points you are to have on a specific play. And like we said, the Falcons are in the negatives. And that's awful. And not only are they in the negatives, they're at like negative 32. And that's the lowest, fourth lowest in the NFL. The only other three teams that are below you in that statistical category are the Houston Texans, who I just mentioned, the Tennessee Titans with a rookie quarterback, and the Cleveland Browns with 45-year-old Joe Flacco, who pretty much is using a cane. So I think we all just know that right now, something's got to change. And I have said from the time I took over this channel to right here on this Monday, Overreaction Monday, that I'm bringing you this video. You got to stop running the pistol. But Zac Robinson doesn't want to listen to that. Because let's go back to week 1 for a second. The metrics for week 2 and week 3 are still being developed. Robinson ran the pistol 43% of snaps in week 1. That might sound like a lot because it is a lot. And you're probably wondering, well, Moose, where does that rank in the NFL so that we have a better idea of how often Zac Robinson runs the pistol? Well, let's talk about the team in week 1 that ran it the second most. So remember, Falcons ran it 43% of the time. The second most in the NFL was 19.4% ran by the Philadelphia Eagles, who have Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. And I don't know if you know this, Jalen Hurts can squat 600 pounds. Michael Penix Jr. can't squat 600 pounds. So I think we kind of have an idea of just what the problem is with this formation. You're running it the wrong way. In fact, I'm no longer going to call it the pistol offense. I'm going to call it the squirt gun, because it does about as much damage as bringing a squirt gun to a pistol fight. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know how you don't listen to what any of the critics have to say. Media members, not just myself, have asked Zac Robinson directly about his use of the pistol and why he should stop or why he continues to roll with it. And this clown actually defends himself. Here's what he said about the pistol. It does keep you pretty balanced from a run-pass standpoint. Obviously, in the offset gun, there are tendencies to throw the football, and so being able to stay completely balanced with what we're doing is what we're trying to do from a run, play action, keeper, screen. All those things come with it. Again, it's part of our offense. Highlight that last sentence. It's part of our offense. No, bro. It's your whole offense. It is your identity. That's all you do. And I can't tell you how often teams laugh at you because it's a Pop Warner style offense. It's something that players run in college. It's when you have a dominant offensive line against a much weaker defensive scheme that your offense can just brutally dominate the other side of the ball. And clearly the Falcons can't do that. Not only from a running perspective, but let's talk about how bad it is in the pass as well. If I see one more screen pass, one more swing pass behind the line of scrimmage, I might actually set myself on fire. Take a look at something here. Do you notice anything? All of the green is either behind the line of scrimmage or below 10 yards. Meaning what? When Michael Penix Jr. tries to throw the ball more than 10 yards, and remember, majority of this is in the pistol, his accuracy drastically drops off. You cannot throw the ball down the field in this offense. You can't. Teams are pressing you at the line of scrimmage, forcing you, daring you to throw the ball downfield. They're saying, please get past us on a go route. Please get past us on a stop and go, on a wheel. Throw the ball more than 25 yards down the field. And the Falcons can't do it. It's not that they won't do it, because they don't do that either. I haven't seen any schemes where Michael Penix is throwing the ball more than 25 yards. That great deep ball that we've been talking about, where is it? It's almost like Zac Robinson just took it out of the offense. If you can't throw the ball downfield, you will never score points. Because every defense, even as bad as the Panthers are, will absolutely recognize how to play you, and they will stop you immediately. So do me a favor, rank the Falcons offense through week 3, 1 through 32. It might be the worst. You haven't scored a touchdown in 2 weeks. Pathetic. Now, before I get on to the second half of today's video, which is all about the quarterback, because I do think I was maybe a little harsh on Michael Penix, although I still think he played awful. I have some things that I want to kind of clarify when it comes to QB1. I'm going to get to our presenting sponsor of today's video, and that is our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, you can actually get paid to be right. Don't miss any of the excitement this year watching football or any sport with Prize Picks. All you got to do is pick 2 to 6 players and their stat projections. Take the more or the less, and then boom, send that bad boy in and watch your money multiply. You can win up to 2,000 times your money this season watching Prize Picks, and it is very easy to play. You can join millions of users and sign up today. All you got to do is go to your app store, find that white P with the purple background right there, you see it, click that download button, and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. I do want to start by saying I believe still in MPJ. He had, his 6th start as a starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. It clearly has a lot of time to grow and develop. I just don't think under Zac Robinson, I think under Zac Robinson, it won't. Because under Zac Robinson, Michael Penix has regressed in the pocket. And as a quarterback, he looks jumpy. He never gets his feet set, especially against the Carolina Panthers. It was nonstop happy feet, like that penguin from that movie, just nonstop dancing. It looks like he was doing the salsa in the pocket. No conviction in his throws, which I'll get to here in a little bit with the double clutches and hesitation. But he almost looks like he's lacking confidence in his ability to throw the football. He's got 0 attempts to throw the ball down the field. That's a product of Zac Robinson's offense. And the double clutches, like I said, and the hesitation. It just looks like he's afraid to make a mistake. And the stats don't lie. I just told you how you can't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. Well, the stats back that up because the average air yards in week 3 against the Panthers, this is the amount of time from the time the ball left Michael Penix Jr.'s hand, to the time it was caught by a receiver. The average air yards was 3.8 yards per throw. That's awful. That is awful. If it looks like a rushing statistic, you probably shouldn't look at that as good news. And then, of course, there's another player that I want to highlight because one specific fan got down in the comment section, and I thought he had spot-on analysis. I forget his name. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting. But if you watch this video and it was you, you can let me know. Kyle Pitts, I don't even know what to say about this guy. He's just another body in this offense. He doesn't stretch the seam like a tight end should. And we've heard all about this crazy athleticism, his ability to play like a bigger-bodied wide receiver. He's not a vertical threat. You don't stretch the ball down the field nearly enough to even consider anybody right now a vertical threat. He's just another body. He doesn't block nearly as well as he should. What is Kyle Pitts' role outside of an arrow route into the flat or a stick route for 6 yards over the middle of the field? If you can't be an asset to this team, why are you on the field? You're the 4th overall pick, dude. And you can't stretch the field. You can't be a vertical threat. You're not a presence over the middle of the field, up the seam, or on a post. You just exist. And that is ultimately a reflection of the leader of this offense, which is Zac Robinson. Which leads me to my final question. Not even a question. It's more of a statement. If you think it's time to fire Zac Robinson, type your F's in the comments. I can't find a reason to keep him on board this coaching staff. 2 straight weeks with no touchdowns as an NFL offensive coordinator is egregious. But what do I know? I'm just some schmuck making a YouTube video talking about the Dirty Birds. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. I'll be back later today with more thoughts and analysis. I'm going to try and do a deep dive and try to find anything positive from that game, although it's going to be few and far between. A reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, like the video if you haven't, and as always, Dirty Birds fans, rise up and be cool.